today?
I'm doing great, feeling good,
Feeling good? You
alive,
super
healthy.
excited?
Yeah, so excited for the season to come out tomorrow. Very, very excited for people to see this season.
All right, so we left on quite not really the cliffhanger, but something we don't typically see with maybe a redemption arc for a serial killer, potentially.
Ah, maybe. I mean, we'd like to believe that everybody has some redeeming qualities, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not convinced. I'm personally not convinced.
You and me
Yes,
both.
yeah. Luke is definitely not convinced, and neither is Rossi. I think some other characters are maybe believing there's a benefit of the doubt to be given, but I don't think so.
So, what kind of stress is that going to put on not only Luke, but the team?
Yeah, no, it takes a toll at some points, as you know, I mean, we're living in times where people that love each other, may disagree on some things, and it creates some heavy tension when that happens. And I think that there are going to be some moments where, where there's conflict as a result of people wanting to believe in the best in a serial killer versus people not wanting to believe in that at all. And so, I mean, this season has so many different things going on that I think the fans are really going to have a good time watching it.
So, let's talk Luke. What is happening this season? What can you tease about his arc this season?
Man, Luke, I think people get to see Luke in a way they haven't seen him in a really long time on the show. He's dealing with some things that are really heavy, in terms of friendships and the realities of having to leave people behind, on the battlefield of life. And I think that, you know, his relationships with the people that people love to see him with gets stronger, and I think the audience gets a deeper look into who he is, and hopefully want to embrace him for that. But it was great, as an actor it was great because it was really nice to have some episodes that had some real meat on the bone to play. And the baton gets passed around on an ensemble, especially on a
Hmm.
procedural where there's not, the show is really, centered around the case itself. So, when that baton gets passed around every once in a while, it's really nice to be the person that gets to run with it. So, it was a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff to play this year, and I hope the fans feel like I delivered.
Well, you got a lot to tell in 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as you hit the nail on the head. Sometimes with the procedural, some characters get left behind. And, luckily enough, I don't think that happens to Luke this season. Not giving away too much because I have seen some of it. But your arc this season compared to what we have seen in the past is I'm not going to say extremely different, but it's a nice little chunk of meat for you.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, you get those scripts and you're reading and you're like, oh man, amazing. Finally, like getting
Yeah.
I've got something to rally to get, to rally around, to get excited about. And
Mhm.
so, the nerves kick in and you start prepping for that. And then it's time to deliver. It's
Yeah.
showtime, and, you're on set, and you get to wake up in a way that you don't always have to be, I don't want to say that because I feel like I'm always engaged in work, but there's just more to do. The ball's in your hands, and so you've got to deliver, and it's always exciting.
So this isn't a new character to you. You've been playing him for quite some time.
Sure. Yeah.
So when you came into this season and we're prepped, already picked up for another one, which is huge. Yes. But how do you stay just like Luke is experiencing on the show? How do you stay invested? Because like Luke is dealing with serial killers will burn you out. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously the
Yeah.
threat of dying every week is there, but they burn you out. Playing a character for so long can also burn you out. So, what is it about this show that you're just like I love this character. I love this show. I have to keep coming back.
I have to. I think it's just part of the job, and you just find your way through it. But I think what really helps with that for everybody, I would have to say. I mean, they could speak for themselves, but um, I think we have the kind of relationship with our showrunner and the writers where they know where to lead this cast in a way that
Mm.
keeps it, engaging for us as actors, the same way it keeps it engaging for the audience. And so, yes, I mean, we are dealing with serial killers week in and week out, but I think if you play to that as an actor and as a writer, like that's the job for the people that actually do this too. They wake up every day and they know they're going to be faced with, the same darkness. And I think as long as you acknowledge that, I think there's always a way through it without it feeling tired. It's just always the obstacle. It's the challenge. It's like we've all got some BS we've got to deal with in our lives
Yep.
every day. No matter what, there's going to be something. It's bills, it's, some boss we don't like or a coworker that's a pain. There's just something that is, feels endless. And that's kind of what makes us alive as human beings, right? Is how we
Yep.
step up to meet that challenge. And I think Erica does a great job of building that into the writing in a way that keeps driving it forward without allowing for it to feel tired or like we want to give up, you
Yeah.
know.
And keeps the
Um,
fans engaged every
yeah,
episode.
yeah. I think Voight's been kind of that thing for the past few seasons,
Hmm.
you know. And eventually you have to purge yourself of that thing. You have to move past it, which we finally do. But I think that Voight, has served as that, that nagging obstacle in our way that keeps creating problems that start to feel endless and, we're getting tired of. And I think that's important because you've got to take the audience on a ride with you so that when you finally do, move through that challenge, it feels like a real victory.
Yeah.
There's relief, there's release.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I do think we get somewhat of that relief, but unfortunately, Voight's a little bit of an annoying little sibling that won't go away
You
yet.
never know with that guy. You never know with that guy. There's just one way to deal with somebody like that.
Yep, yep, you're 1,000% correct. Well, thank you, Adam, so much for speaking with me. I am super excited for everyone to see the new season.
Thanks, Megan.